buddies with a pedophile. On Friday, the Wall Street Journal dropped an absolute bombshell. They are reporting that in 2003, Trump sent a birthday letter to Jeffrey Epstein for his 50th birthday that was sexually suggestive. Yeah, it's the most inappropriate birthday gift since Carvel debuted Fudgy the Hung Like a Whale. Now, according to the Wall Street Journal, Trump's letter featured several lines of typewritten text.
Donald Trump is getting booed at multiple stadiums across the world on the same day. Stadiums, plural. From London to New Jersey, Donald Trump and his despicable regime are getting booed by packed arenas. Let me take you to the O2 Arena in London, where during an NBA game there, during the national anthem, the Trump regime was booed. A member of the audience said, "Leave Greenland alone."
People are talking about what happened to Stephen Colbert, but much of what's being said misses the real story. This wasn't a routine business decision by CBS. It wasn't about money, and it definitely wasn't what Trump is bragging about online. The truth is far simpler and far more troubling. Colbert refused to stay quiet, and once you follow the timeline and the facts, it becomes clear why so many people are angry.
You know, I just want to say, look, I know that Trump's followers get a lot of grief from people going, "No, you don't believe in anything. It's a cult of personality, blah, 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 meow, meow, meow." But I want to be fair here, okay? There is one thing that MAGA has believed from the beginning, and they still believe it. And that's that there is a secret cabal of top government officials who meet at shadowy dinners to strategize how to hide the sins of wealthy sex traffickers and pedophiles.
And then the crowd erupted into applause over "Leave Greenland alone," and the people were absolutely pissed at the playing of the national anthem. Let me show you what takes place in London as Donald Trump continues to threaten the Western Hemisphere and the rest of the world. Play this clip.
On July 14th, 2025, Stephen Colbert returned from summer break, sat down behind his desk, and did something few television hosts ever dare to do. He publicly went after his own corporate bosses after learning that Paramount, CBS's parent company, had quietly paid Donald Trump $16 million to settle a lawsuit their own lawyers believed had no legal merit.
Including one text from an unknown number offering a high-paying IT work-from-home job for only 2 to 3 hours a day. Yes, I am very interested. And I will be sending you my routing number in May. Daddy needs a job. Over the weekend, it sunk in that they're killing off our show. But they made one mistake. They left me alive.
Now, from a packed house at the O2 Arena in London, let me bring you to a music festival in New Jersey that just took place, where Bruce Springsteen spoke out against Donald Trump and his despicable regime and the ICE and Border Patrol Gestapo. Bruce Springsteen said, "If you believe that America should still exist as a democracy..."
The lawsuit centered on how 60 Minutes edited an interview with Kamala Harris, a case so weak that Paramount's legal team reportedly said it had no chance of winning, which raised the obvious question, why pay at all? And that's when Colbert voiced what no one else at CBS had said on air, openly admitting he was offended as an employee and that his trust in the company had been badly damaged.
They do believe that, and for that, I have never criticized them because I'm sure. Have I? I don't think so. Maybe I have. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Because I'm sure that kind of stuff does go on. For instance, tonight in Washington, because according to CNN, top Trump officials will discuss their Epstein strategy at a dinner hosted by J.D. Vance. Now look, many things are shocking about.
You shouldn't be murdered for exercising your First Amendment right to protest. watch Springsteen speak to the packed crowd, who all erupt in applause at Springsteen and anger against the despicable Trump regime. Play this clip.
If you believe in the power of the law and that no one stands above it, if you stand against heavily armed, masked federal troops.
As the audience reacted, Colbert pushed even further, joking that if Paramount wanted to rebuild trust, $16 million would be a good start, before bluntly calling the payment what he believed it was, a bribe, repeating the phrase on national television and making it unmistakably clear that he was accusing his own parent company of buying political favor.
Right now. I don't care for him. Doesn't seem to have like the skill set. Doesn't have the skill set to be president. You know, just not a good fit, that's all. People have been speculating about the timing of this decision from Paramount, and they're pointing out the last Monday, just 2 days before my cancellation, I delivered a blistering monologue.
Invading an American city, using the stop tactics against our fellow citizens. If you believe you don't deserve to be murdered for exercising your American right to and send a message to this president, and as the mayor of that city has said, ICE should get the fuck out of here.
Colbert then laid out the motive. Paramount needed approval from a Trump-appointed FCC to move forward with its $8.4 billion merger with Skydance Media, making the message behind the payment impossible to ignore, even joking that future executives might try to pressure him into silence, something he made clear would not be easy.
The Epstein crisis has made Trump officials so desperate, they're willing to hang out with J.D. Vance. Hey guys. Hey guys, come on in, have a seat. No, not on the couch. She's not in the mood. In addition to Vance, CNN says the dinner was to be attended by White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, Attorney General Pam Bondi, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, and FBI Director Kash Patel, who...
This song is for you in the memory of mother of three and American citizen Renee Good. Thank you.
Now, just contrast that, by the way, to a typical appearance by former President Barack Obama when he shows up at an NBA game or a college game. It's always to standing ovations. Donald Trump is always getting booed, and Obama's always getting standing ovations. Watch this.
Just 3 days later, CBS announced that The Late Show with Stephen Colbert would be canceled in May 2026, ending a franchise that had existed since 1993. And while executives claimed it was unrelated, the timing raised serious questions. Questions that make it clear this was not coincidence, but retaliation.
I still have a show, though, right? Okay, good. Yesterday, after threats from Trump's FCC chair, ABC yanked Kimmel off the air indefinitely. That is blatant censorship. And it always starts small. You know, remember like in week 1 of his presidency, Gulf of America. Call it Gulf of America. Sure, seems harmless, but with an autocrat, you cannot give an inch.
Welcome to a very special guest, former President Barack Obama.
And as I noted, Donald Trump getting booed across the world. Donald Trump was protested this weekend in Nuuk in Greenland as Trump continues to threaten the sovereignty of Greenland and says he's going to invade.
CBS insisted the cancellation was purely financial and had nothing to do with performance or content, a claim that collapses under scrutiny given that Colbert's show had been the #1 late-night program for 9 consecutive years, outperforming every competitor on television.
Did I black out? Was he here? And now, and now for the next 10 months, the gloves are off. I can finally, I can finally speak unvarnished truth to power and say what I really think about Donald Trump. Starting.
By the way, Donald Trump stated on his social media platform late last night, NATO has been telling Denmark for 20 years that you have to get the Russian threat away from Greenland. Unfortunately, Denmark has been unable to do anything about it. Now it is time, and it will be done. President Donald J. Trump. That is what an abuser sounds like. Donald Trump is a predator. Donald Trump's a sexual predator, a sexual abuser. Donald Trump is a predator in all aspects of his life.
CBS claimed the show was losing tens of millions annually. But what they didn't mention is that late-night television has never been about direct profit. It's a prestige platform designed to keep networks relevant, making it hard to believe CBS suddenly couldn't afford its top-rated show just days after its host crossed a political line.
Definitely has seen some. Everything's fine. Everything's good. I saw nothing, just unable to close my eyes ever again. Just, hey, you guys, anybody have any Visine? After the CNN report, Vance's office denied he was convening this meeting. Now they're covering up the cover-up. This is worse than a conspiracy. It's a duvet.
A creepy predator and a creepy regime filled with creepy predators. By the way, here was the protest at Nuuk. You'll see the people right here marching to the American consulate in Greenland. Here, play this clip. And just to hear from some of the Greenlandic people, they say, we're not scared, we're united, and we have great allies. And Europe has been standing up, Canada's been standing up.
Trump's reaction removed any remaining doubt as he publicly celebrated Colbert's firing, mocked his talent, and openly threatened Jimmy Kimmel next. Behavior that makes the idea of coincidence nearly impossible to take seriously.
And if ABC thinks that this is going to satisfy the regime, they are woefully naive. And clearly, they've never read the children's book, If You Give a Mouse a Kimmel. and to Jimmy, just let me say, I stand with you and your staff 100%. And also, you couldn't let me enjoy this for like 1 week. Just come on.
Other countries across the world have been standing up for Greenland, saying that if you invade Donald Trump, we will go to war against you. But here is what this individual said from Greenland. Play this clip.
It's a bit like a spoiled child turned old. And you think he can, and think he can scare people. He can't scare Greenlanders. We're not scared. We'll fight him to the end. We will never give in. And we are so happy we have so good allies.
Now here's Prime Minister Carney over the past 48 hours or so saying,
when Colbert returned to the air after the cancellation announcement, he was greeted with a standing ovation and directly addressed Trump's post, delivering one of the most defiant moments ever seen on network television, making it clear he had no intention of backing down.
Now, just like ours, Jimmy's monologue is about what everyone's talking about every day. And on Monday, everyone was talking about reactions to the horrifying assassination of Charlie Kirk. And Jimmy touched on it in a way that offended FCC chair and individually wrapped hard-boiled egg that they sell at the airport, Brendan Carr. Carr went on a podcast yesterday afternoon and described Jimmy's comments as the sickest conduct possible.
If the United States invades Greenland, Article 5 will be triggered. Canada will go to war with the United States. Now, special forces are already in Greenland from multiple European countries. I know Canada's planning on sending it as well. Anyway, let me play for you right now what the scene looked like as well. I played it for you, the Carney clip. Let me play that clip.
Greenland, the future of Greenland is a decision for Greenland and for the Kingdom of Denmark. We are NATO partners with Denmark.
Rather than letting Trump intimidate other hosts, Colbert positioned himself as the target, joking that there was room for only one martyr and making it clear he wasn't going to let fear spread, reinforcing why independent journalism and fearless commentary still matter.
Dinner or no dinner, the eyes wide shut supper still has to decide what to do with the transcript of the Ghislaine Maxwell interview conducted by the DOJ's second-in-command and Trump's former Stormy Daniels sex scandal lawyer, Todd Blanche, seen here in the last image his grandmother ever saw. A few weeks back, Blanche met with Maxwell, who is currently serving a 20-year sentence for sex trafficking minors. And ever since, the Justice Department has been digitizing.
And so our full partnership stands. Our obligations on Article 5, Article 2 of NATO stand, and we stand full square behind those.
Now let me play for you what the scene looked like in Copenhagen City as the people of Denmark protested against the Trump regime there. This is, again, across the world, people are booing Donald Trump. Play this clip.
Behind the scenes, 2 senior CBS executives resigned before the settlement was even announced, fully aware of what was coming and unwilling to be part of a decision that would compromise journalistic integrity, a warning sign of deeper institutional failure.
Transcribing and redacting the interview materials. Oh, I bet they have. Let's see, Control F, find Donald Trump. Replace with Gayle King. There you go. Reportedly, as they redact the truth into a shallow grave, Trump officials are considering releasing the contents of Blanche's interview, although they're concerned about whether making the details from the interview public.
And just a reminder, back in February of 2024, when Canada, when there was the hockey championship, the Hockey World Championship with the NHL, and the Canadian fans were booing the national anthem. You remember that back in February of 2025? Let's play this clip.
The fallout became undeniable when CBS News anchors openly questioned their own network's credibility on air, while Jon Stewart, working under the same corporate umbrella, joined Colbert in criticizing the settlement, confirming this was not just one host's opinion, but a crisis of trust inside American media itself.